We had servants, I had horses, I had cars, I had a charge account at the record store and the cosmetics counter. I was a little rich witch, and it didn't prepare me for life, but it prepared me to be what he intended, what my father intended that I be, which was a hostess, a mother, and a wife, in that order. That's what a Texas wealthy woman was expected to be. And, but then it turned out that after he died, my brother managed to confiscate my inheritance, and I wound up with nothing. So I had to learn life all over again at 30. I guess I've been manic depressive all my life. Now they call it bipolar. My mother was a bad alcoholic. My father was gone all the time. My brother was 5 years older than me and wanted to send me back when I was born. Never did like me. And between the three of them, they convinced me that I was fat, ugly, and stupid. And so I always felt fat, ugly, and stupid, no matter what I looked like, no matter if I looked like that picture. I still felt inside like I was fat, ugly, and stupid. And it took 7 years of analysis, starting when I was 24, for me to, or not 24 when I was 22. It took 7 years of analysis for me to begin to realize that that was brainwashing, and that I wasn't those things, that I was my own person. But in school especially, from grade school on, I felt ostracized because I had no friends. I lived in a rich neighborhood in Houston for the first 4 years of school. River Oaks, a very rich neighborhood of Houston, millionaires. But my daddy was a millionaire. And I had an Olympic-sized swimming pool with dressing rooms. I had a playroom over a 3-car garage. The garage was so smooth you could roller skate in it. It was like a roller skating rink. I had tropical fish, I had hamsters, I had dogs. I had everything in the world, and yet no one would come play with me. And my psychiatrist told me, he said, 9 kids out of 10 would have figured out it was because of your mother. But the 10th kid, me, figured it was my fault, because I'd been brainwashed to being fat, ugly, and stupid. So I figured it was my fault. And all through grade school, I didn't have any friends. My first real friend was I met when I was 13, she was 14. And maybe that's why it's endured all these years, because she's still my best friend. But like I say, it's a complicated answer. Finally, my psychiatrist said, you're cured. You'll always have to live with being bipolar or manic depressive. You're either up or you're down, and there's no middle ground. And you know that from knowing me, Dennis. You know, I'm either up or down. There's just not any middle ground for me. I would like for there to be, but it just doesn't work out that way. So I try to stay on the upside. You ever watch the TV show Dallas? You don't know that show? It's long before you were around. You know Dallas. Well, J.R. Ewing is what my lawyer used to call my brother. He used to refer to my brother as J.R. because in Texas, families are patriarchal and monetarily inclined, and at least in my set, it was. And my brother literally took my inheritance from me. He stole it legally. And he's kept it. I had an attorney, we fought him in court for 11 years before a judge made a summary ruling, which is a ruling without people being present in court. He just does it from his chambers. He looked at the evidence and said, well, give her 5% of what she asked for. And that was just enough to pay the attorneys. So I wound up still with nothing, but I'll tell you one thing. I'm happy. He's not. He lives a life of manipulation, controlling, directing, buying, selling, and he doesn't know the joy I know. I lived a great life out there for 30 years as a metaphysician on a mountaintop. Lived alone with my animals, 800 feet above the river, and with a mile-and-a-half dirt road that it took four-wheel drive to get up in the winter. For some people, it took four-wheel drive to get up in the summer. It was a great life. I had a marvelous time up there. I learned to live with myself, which was something I had never learned. I'd always been surrounded by people. And up there, I was just surrounded by animals. And I found out that I was a pretty amazing creature myself. I built buildings, I built pens, I built chicken coops, I built inventive gardens on bedrock, made my own soil. I started gardening, knew nothing about gardening. I planted a package of marigold seeds one time. It said on the back of the package to press down firmly, so I got up and stomped on the planter. Well, eventually one little marigold came up that was about that tall, and I said, there's more to this than meets the eye. So I ordered a bunch of books, and 4 years later, I entered the Harvest Fair in Santa Rosa with 7 entries and came home with 5 ribbons, a first, a second, 2/3, and a 4th. And that was kind of made me pretty proud. I figured I'd mastered that one. And so as I've gone along in life, I've mastered new talents, new skills, here and there, as called, as needed. As I've grown older, my attitude has changed. And I've realized that joy is a quantifiable thing that you can build for yourself. You don't have to have others give you joy or make you happy. Happiness comes from within inside. It comes deep inside of me. There's a well of joy that is inexhaustible. And I know that now. I didn't always know that.
Hello, I'm Darren Murkachi as a junior at this high school.
Hello, I'm Kristen Hazelton. I'm a senior at this high school.
Hello there, I'm Dennis Lindelof and I'm also a junior at Cloverdale High School.